Season 3 is already 41% complete with only 2 downtime updates remaining for a short season of summer. We already know how Season 4 is going to be starting, and let's just say it's a lot more interesting than everybody initially anticipated, so it's vital you stick around for the 480 to 600 seconds being the full length of this video today. Quick announcement, it would mean the world to me and my dog Charlie the Charcoal Pug if you could enter the new creator code FM3 inside the Fortnite item shop. I just got it changed because why not? It spices things up and keeps things fresh and new. Last video I asked you guys to name this emote, and here's a ton of hearted comments on screen right now that got it right. This now, however, is our new emote, so let me know what this is down below in the comments, and if you get it right and your comment gets hearted, it could be showed on screen in the next video. And considering we're incredibly close to 2.55 million subscribers, whilst you're clicking buttons, hit the button, turn on all notifications. After all, it only benefits you, as we do try and give different subscribers every single day, with proof for that on screen right now. As for the structure of today's video, we're firstly going to be covering leaks that we thought were going to be true even for the start of Chapter 4 Season 3 that still could be coming next season, mixed in with the context newly founded this season with the storyline as slowness survived in the direction it's going now, ultimately reflecting all combined together if we're going to be seeing a live event, startup event for Season 4 and what this means for the trailer. With that said, rewinding the clock to Chapter 4 Season 2's end days, of course, we thought we were going to be seeing the first live event of Chapter 4 in itself for this second season of the chapter, as this typically happens in the past with Chapter 2 Season 2 The Device and Chapter 3 Season 2 Collision. Despite everybody being sad about Epic Games breaking the trend of the first storyline or big live event of each chapter setting out the storyline not occurring in this second season, they've actually stuck to their word in the next regard of the season after that, the Season 3 of each chapter being the one of which the summer event takes place and where they go on vacation, which is the current situation we're in now. Anyways, with us not seeing a live event to end off last season, although there were hints toward what was going to be happening come Chapter 4 Season 3 starts, such as the Cyber Dragon being an indestructible structure built like the Mecha Team leader almost from Chapter 1 Season 9, giving those sort of vibes, and this seemingly inactive volcanic structure on the outskirts of the megacity itself, on top of the fact we had a ton of leaks surrounding volcanic ash and that a volcano would be upcoming on this particular Chapter 4 island, with data miners also coming out stating that there was an event flag starting on the day of Chapter 4 Season 3 launching, until almost 2 weeks after implying that this could have been a startup event that we can all participate in that isn't live, like the Zero Crisis finale from Chapter 2 Season 6 upon starting up the game for the first time, and with the key art being leaked early revealing 4 of the Battle Pass skins getting everybody excited about what was upcoming, none of this came to be. Reflecting back to Epic Games not abandoning the Season 3 trait of a summer event going on and then being out of office, of course, like those events, it's looking likely that we're not going to be seeing a live event this season, but whether or not we do see a startup event for the next one or what occurs in the trailer based off developments made in the final days of Season 3, as there's only 2 more downtime updates set to commence now, being version 25.20 on the 25th of July 2023, and then after that only 125.30 that currently isn't set in schedule in terms of when it's going to be releasing. However, they've already tested it in its early stages before the next season update 26.00, the 26th season of Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4, but this, believe it or not, is not the final season of Chapter 4, as apparently Chapter 5 Season 1 is version 28.00, meaning the 28th season of Fortnite, so that means there's a 27.00 which can only be Chapter 4 Season 5. Just before we dive more deeper into the story and how a volcano could potentially even still be a map change either this season or upcoming at the end as a development, from looking at the Battle Pass, if what they say is true and this season does end on August 25th, 50 days from then we land on October 14th, and then 50 days after that as well we land on December 3rd, meaning that Chapter 4 Season 4 and 5 will not only definitely be very shorter seasons than usual, as it typically averages around 80 days a Fortnite season, with Epic Games already planning things like the LEGO collaboration to be actually in Chapter 4 Season 5, the final season of this chapter, and that we're going to be seeing annual chapters now as proven by Chapter 3 launching in December of 2021 and ending in December of 2022. These 2 final seasons, Season 4 and 5, being 50 days long, of course with the current time frame of this season ending now August 25th, directly lands in early December when they do typically launch a chapter and then have a winter-based event. We already know they're working on the finale for this chapter that's hopefully better than Fracture, being, well, a cinematic and literally just mini-games. Codenamed Jurian in the files, which people thought was the live event they were working on to end off last season, but then data miners obviously determined that with it being scheduled for around the end of November, which I'm guessing is going to be changed, that this Jurian event in the files of course was for the chapter finale. With that being the current schedule, it kinda sets out for what we can expect to see based off the breadcrumbs that Epic Games are leaving around now as to the direction of what's coming next in terms of map changes and even the storyline. The most pressing thing being a volcano location as previously mentioned, as not only was it leaked prior to the start of this season once again, that Echo reminds us about despite showing Battle Pass cosmetics in relation to a volcano literally being a volcano sticker in itself that's animated animated, this volcanic look and magma looking contrail, and then also this particular axe perhaps foreshadowing the future, there were indeed files of the Zero lava and volcanic rocks in relation or somehow tied to the petrified 0 point, which is currently what the 0 point is labelled as in the files right now as a codename. Of course, it's gone into a hibernation-like state, like again Chapter 2 Season 6 when the Spire was formed to protect it in order for it to regenerate in terms of its health or capabilities, which is understandable. 0 point, you did pull an entire island together from different realities by literally reaching out in tendril form and grabbing onto things, sticking it all together when it eventually went inside this ancient vault. But now, considering that location isn't there after the events of Chapter 4 Season 3 and the jungle biome being revealed, from it literally growing out of the earthquake cracks from underneath the
We operate as a team of teams. Full-time, part-time, in or out of uniform.
Around at the end of Chapter 4 Season 2, it's now encased in this metallic substance for me and you to see in-game. As for the volcano, this could be a thing that happens or even sprouts up in a startup event next season, but I definitely think it's going to be happening, as the last time we had a volcano, one that also erupted on the island the season of us getting it in a live event for the unvaulting. In the battle pass, there were cosmetics foreshadowing that this would be upcoming, such as the Angry Volcano sticker, and then even the event of this happening despite it being live in Chapter 1 Season 8 that we could all attend in the Season 9 trailer. Speaking of trailers, another curveball we got thrown at us at the end of the Chapter 4 Season 3 one was the fact that, well, Dr. Sloan did survive and is in this reality or on the island right now. The reason I say reality without a number is because Donald Mustard's location is currently reality in capital letters, implying that this is the case. On top of the fact I did speculate and call now, considering from no clip mode we could see that Dr. Sloan closed the hatch on this tank before it got smashed by the Mecha Team leader hand, that this meant that she did indeed survive, and only now players have started to notice that this was right in front of our eyes since the start of Chapter 4, despite, you know, this IO drill right here being a location actually on the island as a map change. This tank of the IO was also in the background, which obviously got put underneath the debris when the island was being formed, but has only now been revealed for the first time with the reveal of the jungle biome, which we can also find Innovator Sloan at as an NPC on the island with a new mission. The current goal for that mission right now is currently unknown in terms of specifics. However, if we go up to her wearing the gunner's skin, she states, "I told you I'm done," perhaps meaning with the initial imagined order plans that obviously he aided her in the Chapter 2 end event. And even more interestingly, Rift Warden Stellan, when doing the same, she states to him, "I know what you are even if you don't," implying his memories had been wiped. It seems we're going to get a clearer picture right now of what all of this means for Dr. Sloan's mission soon, as data miners found that new dialogue voice files were added for Sloan. The same path is only used for live events and Save the World. This usually means that Sloan is said to have voice lines in an upcoming live event. It could mean nothing at all, so take it with a grain of salt. As we've already determined, no live event will be happening to end off Chapter 4 Season 3, as Season 3s never have a storyline related or big live events. Could we still be seen with the leftover files a startup event for Chapter 4 Season 4 and Dr. Sloan, like Jones, obviously guiding us back then, taking part and telling us what to do with fixed dialogue once that does happen? It seemed like at the end of Chapter 2, the finale of this, that she was working hand in hand with the last reality as the Cube Queen tried to destroy our reality of the Chapter 2 island before the flip side came into play. Jones and the Foundation seemed to be the only ones that could save the day, and Dr. Sloan tried to eliminate them. As we know from last season, the Peace Syndicate had a database, of which a saboteur within the faction itself deleted the last reality files out of being a secret last reality operative, with the last reality like the Herald and the Cube Queen usually being responsible for ending off a chapter. We're definitely due another visit from the last reality, potentially even the giant cradle ship that we saw teased in the background of the Chapter 2 finale once the island was actually flipping over before the Cube Queen cried out, and this portal seemingly shut what we thought forever. Fun fact too, the cradle's completely massive. Literally, this is it in comparison to the Chapter 2 and 3 Flipside Island, and then even one of the motherships, many of which were surrounding it in the reality that we could see into through the portal. Despite random collaborations happening this season, so we thought, or we got teased toward knowing were upcoming before it started, such as Optimus Prime, they're obviously trying to integrate him into the storyline now by having these voice line quests, implying also another visit from the last reality and from the 0 point growing weak.
Power that once flowed through your island has faded, and formidable enemies have taken notice. The answer